Hi Leo, Amber here from Symbols for Living. Welcome to your weekly update, or this week's love update reading for Leo rising, sun and moon signs. So it's a 7 card spread. It's looking at how you both feel about each other, you and your love interest. Also looking at the advice Spirit is given, look at the challenges that you guys are facing as a couple, and also down here the last card would be what actually binds you together. I've also got a card here at the bottom of the deck, which is the Justice card, which I guess is advising Leo this week that it's important to remain just and honest, authentic in all of your actions, because I think it will have a bearing on your karma in some way, especially with the 5 of Swords being here, the Hermit card being here, 2 other major arcanas, and the Devil card, 5 of Cups, the Hanged Man. It just speaks to me of big changes. Sorry, I think upstairs it's decorating quite intensely. Sorry. So yeah, it seems like quite an intense week, most definitely. And with the Justice card coming up, I would say that you may be in a karmic relationship, especially with the Devil card showing up, and the Justice card. So I'll go ahead and get started. Okay, so we'll start with the Hanged Man. This is your position as to what you're learning this week through this relationship. So the Hanged Man suggests a time in our lives when we having to be patient, having to be self-sacrificing, having to choose the enlightened path over the comfortable path. It is about letting go of what is only hindering you, or causing any sort of blockage to your spiritual or relationship progress. This is a time where you have to let things go. You have to maybe also be more objective about things, get out of your emotions in some way maybe, and allow the necessary changes that are maybe you're now faced with, or looking like you're having to make these changes in almost a martyring kind of way, like you as a martyr would. You kind of giving up something for the greater good in a way of the relationship, but it encourages you to be patient and to have faith as well, that it's all for a good cause. That's your major lesson this week. Your partner's lesson is the 5 of Swords, and I think the lesson in the 5 of Swords is to remember, well, ultimately the 5 of Swords is saying that in terms of lessons, is to remember what you're fighting for, and asking us to ask ourselves, was it really worth it? I've lost so much, I've lost this much just to win. It's like an empty victory. So your partner may have to learn to let go of the need for victory, in the sense of just always wanting to be right in any disagreements that you might have. Interestingly enough, the advice here for both of you is to seek enlightenment. In your partner's sense, it's saying to rise above the kind of egoic want to be right, to not be able to let go of your need to be right, to be overprotective of yourself as well. You know, to be too closed off, to be too protective, not, just being defensive. So essentially your partner is learning to open up, maybe not be so defensive, to have faith, and ultimately to not allow the ego to rule so much. It's interesting again because the ego card, this is the ultimate ego card in every way really. It represents everything material. And this is what binds you. This is what you two actually have in common. This is what you're both working on. But your partner's working at it from an aspect of always having to be right, and you seem to be working at it from an aspect of having to self-sacrifice for the greater good, and that may be self-sacrificing some of your desires, maybe addictions, compulsions, things that you do that you know are not good for you, but you do it anyway. Where you're not allowing your higher mind to really have any say. You're just completely absorbed in worldly pleasures, and not allowing a spiritual perspective in at all. It's almost like debauchery. It's just it's like no rules apply. There's no heart, there's no emotion, there's no caring even. And even if there is caring, it's selfish. It's not altruistic in any way. It's also entrapment. So I think that you two both feel quite compelled by each other, even to the point where maybe it feels like it's not healthy. In this, I mean, I don't even like the term toxic relationship anymore. I just think it's overused and not fully explaining the fullness of a relationship that is unhealthy. Anything that only encourages your negative aspects, is only going to push you further and further away from your enlightenment. And the advice here with the Hermit card is to seek enlightenment. The Hermit climbs to the top of the mountain and gets away from everything. You know, it gets as far to space, to the skies, to the heavens as possible, and leaves all earthly pleasures, all earthly restraints behind, to seek enlightenment, to seek a clearer awareness, to see things from a clearer perspective. And that's what you're working on this week as well with the Hangman, is about a change of perspective, looking at things from a different way, ultimately taking ego out of it as well, and making decisions to sacrifice what what's no longer serving. At your challenge together is this unhappiness. So you're both working on trying to maybe not look back in the past so much. Maybe a lot of things have been said, especially with the Five of Swords being here, and so much advice from the Minor Arcana, and you've even got the Nine of Swords come up with another Swords card. There may have been some quite harsh things that have been said to each other at some time in the past or recently, that has caused you guys a lot of heartache, where you feel like a lot has been lost. But really, there what was spilled had to be spilled. That had to go. This is a karmic situation as far as we can see. So whatever has been lost, whatever heartbreak there has been, it's like that was almost like it had to go. It was not serving you. So, you know, that could be what you're learning as a couple, to kind of look to the future and be positive together, and to seek that positive kind of balance in your relationship. You will need to look at things less of them from a me perspective and more from an us perspective, ultimately, because that would be the more enlightened perspective. And even us to the, you know, it could take it right through to a worldly level, like literally us. We are all in this together, and the Hermit definitely recognizes that, looking at things from a high level. So you're just asking to look at things from a high perspective, and that should bring your balance in. That could mean, you know, you guys maybe even taking a break together, you know, retreating, taking a break from the world, talking more, looking at each other from a more enlightened perspective, trying to forget what has happened and look at each other for basically see the good in each other, what you saw maybe in the beginning, realizing what really this is all about, why you got together in the first place, you know, all this arguing that's been done so far, and probably all been a bit of a waste of time in a way, in terms of progress. I mean, I wouldn't say it hasn't progressed the relationship, because it may have allowed you guys to, as I said, release some karma. You know, the blood has been shed in these cups or this wine. It's like something's been, it's like an outlet of blood. It's like a release, I feel. So you see your partner as the Prince of Swords. So someone who acts quickly on decisions made, doesn't really think decisions all the way through, is more about conviction and principle, and just always fights for what's right, regardless if right actually isn't fair, or I don't know, but not really yeah. So you could see your partner as being quite impractical, far-fetched, and spontaneous, and yeah, defensive with words, hiding behind words. You may feel that way. You could also find them to be very smart, very intelligent, very clever, and quite exciting as well, as they are spontaneous, and they fight for what they believe in. I'll just show you this card. It's quite a pretty card. All that long red hair, I can say pretty, even though it's a guy. Yeah, he's got his army behind him. You know, he's got everyone revved up. He's got the whole town like on his side. Like, he's able to inspire people, and so yeah, you see him or her as quite inspirational in some way, and feel quite excited to be with them, I think. Although I think you do think they maybe do hide behind their, you know, are a bit defensive. And maybe you're learning to having to work around that with the Hanged Man, having to put yourselves in their shoes a little bit, with the Hanged Man, change of perspective. Yeah, putting yourself in, you know, like I was saying, the whole us idea, putting yourself in their shoes, and seeking a different perspective. So yeah. So sorry, I keep saying I always do it. the Nine of Swords is how your partner sees you. So your partner to see you struggling, I think, sees you as, you know, with this hangman having to make these sacrifices, having to change his perspective. It is the hangman, any major arcana process is not a light one. It can take weeks or a period of time, you know, days, weeks, but a period, a block of time where you have to go through this kind of process, I think, of learning. They're major learning milestones. So I think your partner sees that in you. If you're living together, they're seeing that you're not sleeping. Or if not, they just see that, you know, you're not you know, you're kind of fighting yourself in your mind. Basically, that's what the Nine of Swords is. Having a fight in your mind. You know, with the Hanged Man, you could be in a state of kind of cognitive dissonance in some way, where you're torn between two different ideas or decisions or ways forward or perspectives. So yeah, they see you fighting with your mind. There's definitely, or fighting in your mind. So I bought a couple of clarifiers when I saw the Nine of Swords, and it shows me here that again, if this is how they're seeing you, they're seeing that a lot of this is being manifested in a way where it's causing you to bring order into your life with the Emperor card here, and also with the Moon card, it's stirring a lot of inner like deep feelings, a lot of old kind of ideas, yeah, which is basically, you know, yeah, a lot of subconscious fears basically are coming up. I think that your partner sees in you, and but they see that also it's bringing in order for you as well. So ultimately, they see you as making progress, and actually overcoming this state of flux, and they see you moving most definitely towards greater stability, organization, more sure of yourself, more sure of what you think and believe, and the direction that you're taking and decisions you're making. You're being a lot more decisive, and yeah, and I think they just see you maturing as well, becoming a man maybe, or, you know, if you're a woman, becoming a lot more self-assured and directed and organized and powerful. So yeah, a lot of learning and development going on for you that your partner sees. I'm gonna go ahead and pull a card from the Amira's Love Oracle. If you're completely single, the challenge that you may be facing is, you know, getting over some past mistakes that have been made. You may at the moment, because of past hurts, be just looking for quite casual relationships, maybe just satisfying your, you know, earthly desires, just basically not really having any committed relationships basically, but still having relationships nonetheless, if that makes sense. Maybe to make yourself feel more in control. However, you are being advised to not completely lose sight of where you really want to be, and you may find that you're meeting people that are quite defensive, and you probably will be meeting a lot of air signs. You may have broken up with a water sign person, and you're now meeting a lot of air signs, and in fact you may very well meet that fairly exciting Prince of Swords character this week. But you may both be going through some sort of heartbreak. And I think when they meet you, they will see that you're still going through that process. One moment. Sorry about that. My daughter needed me. But yeah, looks like you will be taking things very slowly. And yeah, you're not in any rush to. I don't think. Sorry, my daughter again. So yeah, I don't see any relationships happening this week at all. Any new relationships start or anything like that. I think it's going to be more of an internal kind of processing type of week this week, where you're going to have to learn to be patient. However, you will probably meet some people, but there will be a lot of kind of, I think because maybe you're going through some sort of hurt or change, recovery, and you're looking within so much and you're being guided so much by spirit to look within. There'll only be sexual, I think, encounters, if anything, and they'll be very quick within like Prince of Swords, kind of quick relationships to start and stop quite quickly. And also with the Justice card showing up, I would say that be careful of what you do because everything has consequences. That's the ultimate lesson of justice, right? And the law. Everything has consequences, especially karmic. So let's see what cards we've got for you this week, dear Leo. Past love. So it looks like, okay, so if we just continue on with the singles, it looks like if you do meet someone, it'll be someone that you already know. As we've got a karmic week this week with the Justice card. It may very well be a old fling that you may have had with someone in the past. With the Devil card here, what binds you together is maybe a past sexual relationship, or maybe you were in a past relationship that wasn't particularly healthy, maybe had addiction in it, or just bad behavior, and hurtful experiences. But for some reason they may be coming back into your life, and that might be why, you know, you're both kind of faced with these past hurts and looking at the history of everything that's gone on and how much bad things were said and done and how much hurt was caused to each other. But it looks like they could be coming back into your life, or you're just kind of reprocessing these issues. It would have been probably a Libra, Gemini or Aquarius person. There's definitely that will be coming back. And again, you're just being advised with the Hermit card here throughout the reading and the Justice card to always be balanced and fair in all that you do, and to seek a higher perspective, seek advice from the higher power, basically. Take the me out of it and remember the whole us concept, to bypass the ego. With relationships, stable relationships, I would say that maybe you're just maybe a past love, may come into into one of you two's life that could stir up some bad memories. Otherwise, this could just be confirming that the relationship that you're in is possibly from a past life, maybe. With the Justice card here, it's a bit of karma, and the Devil card as well about soul ties. So yeah, there'll be a focus on past love this week. Let me know how it plays out in your life. I think that's probably best, as I'm already at 25 minutes. So yeah, let me know how it plays out, and yeah, keep in touch. See me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Check out my website, symbols4living.com. www.symbolsforliving.com, where I sell an array of spiritual products. Yeah, and otherwise contact me for a reading at symbolsforliving@gmail.com. And take care. Enjoy the rest of your week. Bye.